For having an unexpected swimsuit episode, I was absolutely dying when Miyabi was just not once but twice just so down in the dumps because of the natural advantage, as she calls it. Just the whole idea that because she's flat-chested, like, she's just looking at those around her and being like, God damn, how can I compete with that? And the fact that you end the episode with the goddess appearing and basically Kelvin saying, yeah, I can't lie, you definitely are my type. The advantages are going out the window. Because when you really look at it, there's a lot of characters who have made this man blush because he's not immune to sexual desires, just he's not, like, a virgin about it, right? He's not going about things in a way that makes him seem super inexperienced or anything, just a normal dude who's not gonna lash out in a way that makes him seem like he's socially inept or anything like that. But I like the fact that they are playing around with his emotions and making him feel just like a generally good dude who may get flustered, may have his own selfish desires for doing certain things, and often it's just because he wants something like rice. But all things considered, this show being 8 episodes into it, Black Summoner continuing to be one of my favorite shows to watch every week. Not the most extraordinary show ever, but it takes enough detours in terms of where you think it's gonna go, and it really just ends up making it pretty damn fun if you ask me. The biggest thing that I like about an episode like this, I mean, you end last week with the whole strip scene. We really didn't know where that was going other than potentially making him armor. That was the only thing that kinda seemed likely. And then you start the episode with them training. They're going up against a creepy looking monster, and as we can see, they're not nearly strong enough to deal with it. And as Kelvin points out, well, you're not strong enough for this, how are you going to deal with S-rank demons, let alone like the Demon Lord or anything like that? So it's pretty fun seeing how he was training them, and I initially, like, similar to Sarah, I was like, oh, he's just doing that because if he trains them to be stronger, therefore he'll be able to fight them and it'll be a more fun battle. But he clues into that, he's like, oh, that's a great idea, I'll do that as well. But it just comes across as he's like, listen, you're connected to my goddess, you're clearly not strong enough. I wasn't going out of my way to go aid in your battle or anything. I'm not going to go travel with you to defeat your big bad evil. But I'm not also going to be a dick enough to just leave you on your own path, not knowing what's going to happen. Because if you can't deal with me, you're not going to be able to deal with your end goal threat. So it just comes across as like, because he's such a battle junkie, and because he's not a complete and utter asshole, it just makes natural sense that he would want to train someone who naturally could become very powerful in the future. As it's brought up, I can also battle them in the future, which is awesome. But the big thing is, like, you know, a battle junkie wants to help people who fight for a living, basically, right? And I thought that was nice about it. It's not anything extraordinary. It's not anything that changes his character or anything. And there might be some people saying, like, I remember, rewind 1 or 2 episodes back, I've seen a lot of people say, oh, he's gonna kill the heroes, right? This ain't an edgy show. He's never gonna kill the heroes. So I'm sure there's going to be some pushback being like, oh, he's treating them so nicely, but, like, they never were bad people. Like, maybe they're a little arrogant and a little headstrong because they're the chosen heroes tasked at saving the world, but you can understand how any human would get in that thought process if they're summoned to a new world, put on a pedestal, and up until that point, no one really stands in their way. Just the difference between a lot of isekai series that had that concept, these heroes got a wake-up call a lot sooner, meaning they couldn't really get stuck in their ways. And as we saw with the parting scene, there was a mutual level of respect, and I liked that. I liked that it wasn't just like, oh, we have a character who doesn't want to save the world because he wants to go fight people, and now that he met the heroes, he's just gonna go kill them or bully them or something, right? It just doesn't make sense, right? Especially given that the worst personality we saw was their leader, and that was just because he was a little arrogant, thinking he was the chosen one, and immediately changed his tune when he got a wake-up call and was like, please teach me, sensei, all things considered. It was really cool to see, like, ultimately the reward scene, because when you meet the queen, you knew for sure, like, oh, this looks like a very old school Japan-like setting, from the building architecture, the way they're dressed, even the names. Very much is like, he's gonna find his rice. But it was great to see how she tested him in the way of like, oh, you know, you can have anything. You don't just have to ask for food, you know. You want lands, you want titles, you want riches. And he's like, as long as I can purchase this food whenever I need it, that's more than enough. And the fact that it was a bit of a test, and the fact that she insults, like, oh, you're not greedy like those other heroes, I thought that was amazing. I just wasn't expecting her to also kind of join in the potential harem of Kelvin. The great thing about this, like, potential harem with Kelvin is it doesn't come across as he actually has multiple love interests from his point of view, just more so he recognizes, like, there's a lot of babes who are very much, like, attached to me, and I don't know how to really respond because I don't want to piss off Ethel, and she's right there, and, like, what do I do in this moment? I mean, the fact that he does end the episode saying, like, the goddess is his type, I mean, I think the main competition is between Ethel as well as the goddess, right? I think that's the real main kind of, like, who he might end up actually developing feelings for past a just purely physical level of recognizing, oh shit, you're hot. So I like the fact that they're not shying away from the obvious, but they're not making him respond in a way that makes it feel cliche. And he, like I said, he doesn't feel like a virgin with how he responds. Like, he gets flustered because there's obviously hot people lusting all over him, but he's not an asshole and he's not going to just take advantage of situations. So he kind of nopes out of there in a little bit of a comedic way, all things considered. I'd actually argue my favorite point in this episode is a very small moment, but it's when he talks to Jared and just the whole idea that he's talking to Best Knight here, saying like, hey, do you think we're strong enough to go take care of basically what ruined your life? And the fact that he just responds in a way of, like, respect, because, like, I can't believe you remembered something that any other person put in your situation would just use me like a tool, and instead, you're actually asking me, like, can I, help you? Can I get that revenge for you? Of course, we know he likes a good brawl, but ultimately it came out of a sense of friendship there, and I like the fact that they just felt like they bonded very quickly, and then to transition into the house section, it's crazy, man, because not only does he have a sick-ass mansion, the fact that it just feels perfect for each of them. You have our adorable Slime, who's just the house dog, so he's running in the yard, doing his thing, just happy as can be, which I thought was absolutely adorable. I wasn't expecting, I thought they were gonna, build him a little home or something when he pointed to the outside. No, he just rolls around all day and night. I think that's perfect, because not only is it a guard dog, no one could break in, because it would turn into a monstrosity. It also gets to enjoy the outdoors. We have our knight going to the basement to train, obviously who gets which room, it's just a very fun situation overall, and it gives me the impression that it's so big that there's potential to even grow the cast more than what we've seen here. As we saw the mother and daughter duo who we ended up saving, now we're going to act as servants, so it's just nice to see how the previous arcs or the previous episodes play off of one another, and it feels like he's building a genuine life. He doesn't feel like an edgelord, doesn't feel like an asshole, he might be a battle junkie, he hungers for a good match, but all things considered, he's not someone who's just going to prey on the weak or, kill someone or just hurt someone because they don't fit his ideals. He'll say, don't push your ideals on me, as he told the heroes, but he also recognizes what the heroes are doing is what the heroes should be doing because, the heroes are there for a reason to protect the world. He just doesn't want to do that, but he'll take time out of his day to train them, so potentially he can fight them in the future, but most importantly, you have a connection with my goddess. Now that I've seen that you're absolutely weak, I'm not going out of my way to find you, but now that I have found you, well, at this point I gotta do what I can, and that's why I really like Kelvin as a character. It's a bit of a shame that we're now 2/3 done this season, but I really do hope we get a second season of Black Summoner. It's absolutely fantastic, it's fun, it's charming, and really, even though there's a lot of similarities to a lot of fantasy isekai series out there, I just find the way they just so elegantly handle Kelvin's personality and how that then rubs off on the other characters. It's hard not to get a kick out of the charming atmosphere of this Battle Junkie series, but I'm excited for more. Thoughts and feelings down below, theories if you got any. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here. Till next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.